All right, for practice problem 3.6, we are still in metric. Part origin is located at the center and the back again. We have circles, lines, center lines, arcs, polygons, sketch patterns, extrude boss. I like this geometry. When looking at this, break it into its component pieces. And so if we generate the base circle, the circle, and one segment of the arc going into the tangent arc, and then pattern that around, we can uh, connect the endpoints and see what that gives us. Previously, we did the lace gasket that had whatever 12 or so points on it, or arcs on it that was a little more complicated. So this one, has some interesting geometry. Then we'll go back to the polygon and get that located. All right, so into our metric template, and we'll open up a sketch on the front plane. Oh yeah, this laptop that I'm using does have the RealView graphics, so I do need to show those. My desktop has a standard video card, so if you have a higher end graphics card, RealView will give you the shiny colors. We turn off the shadows. I don't use the ambient inclusion in the cartoon. I was using the white background. This is a gray gradient. If we want to change that, just be aware. Okay, 3-point faded, whatever. We would go back in and set the default, but I'm okay with this. I will continue on. Want to make um, my feature tree just a little bit bigger so I can see those items. All right, so I've got my work area where I'm comfortable with it. We're going to draw the base circle, and again, any construction circle will go to for construction into the smart dimension, and this time I'll move away from that linear and let it go back to a dimetral. So 125 for that geometry. And then we can go back into the circle, and we're looking for that quadrant. So as you scan along or you hover over the base circle, you're going to have the origin and 0, 90, 180, 270. We're going to pick one to start with, and that became a click click. And then if I right click and go to the smart dimension, that will put me right into setting my diameter of 16. Okay, so I don't want to pattern this yet. I would like to have just the um, one pattern to work with. So for this, I'm going to start with a center point arc. We can find the center point of the circle, and then we're going to drag. So this one went the wrong way, so if I keep going in a circle, if I go the opposite way or I keep going around the circle, eventually it's going to make the arc segment the way that I want. Going back into the arc to the tangent, then I'm looking for something that kind of goes that way. All right, and we can manipulate those endpoints to make it a little bit closer to what we wanted to end up with. And we want to put as much of the geometry in place as we can. So back into the smart dimension, getting it fully defined before we do the pattern helps, maybe make it not so chaotic to deal with these shapes. All right, so 15 on the radius, 50 on the arc, and then we'll right click, go into the select, and now my pre-select for the circular pattern is to select the circle, control select the arcs, and then when we go into the circular pattern, it's already populated in the entities to pattern. All right, and these are going to be a total of 5. And I'm not worried about it crossing over, hanging out there, we're going to correct those. I do want to make sure it's going to the origin, and we'll go ahead and hit OK. All right, so not great, not terrible. First, let's connect the endpoints. So dragging to where I see that concentric, and then select, Control Select, go into tangent. All right, so that wasn't too crazy, but I do have some blue endpoints that makes me wonder what's going on there. So it may have just not solved, and there are times where the geometry, based on what I told it to do, I may not get those blue endpoints. They will drive me crazy being there, but if I can't force it to solve, then this will be one of those cases that I let it go and worry about it later. All right, so maybe not 65. Let's try 5. All right, got ahead of myself there. So in the polygon on our sketch tools, we're going for 5 sides. We are doing an inscribed circle, which will be connecting at the flats or tangent to the flats. Circumscribed circle will be connected at the points of our polygon. So we want to position and then drag that out. And I can go into the select. To place the orientation, I'm picking one of the lines, and that will be horizontal. And while I'm here, I'll just go on over to the Smart Dimension. And for this one, we'll pick that inscribed circle, and that one was a diameter of 35. All right, so that gives us our geometry. We're ready to see how it extrudes, and we have an extrude of 10, and we'll go ahead and accept. Then we need to go find the volume number. 108,939. So we go back into the mass properties, 108,939. So we got pretty darn good on that one. So let's go ahead and wrap up the video, and we'll pick up the next one.